interesting.
It's interesting. Welcome to Savory Stories, the show where I make food and drinks from your favorite book series. I'm your chef, the Eclectic Wolf, and today we are going to be making some food from the Harry Potter series again. It is close to Halloween, as you might know, and so I thought it might be fun to make some foods that you can make to bring to Halloween parties, or if the Dark Lord has risen and you're getting together for your first Death Eater meeting and you don't really know anybody yet, you guys can make these beautiful snacks to bring everybody and make everybody happy for the Dark Lord's resurrection. So let's get to it. We are going to be making two recipes today, pumpkin pasties and treacle tart. So both of these things are desserts and they both have a crust, and so like all the other crusts that we have to mix it all together and make the crust and then put in the refrigerator to wait for a while. So I'm gonna make both the crusts first. Onwards to glory! So the main thing we're gonna use to make these is a giant food processor. So to start out with the crust for the treacle tart, we'll want 2.5 cups of all-purpose flour. And, oh my goodness. I have already dumped everything everywhere. Why is it always the flour? The flour is my mortal enemy. And 2.5. Next, we'll want to add a cup of confectioner's sugar or powdered sugar. And next, half a teaspoon of salt. And now we'll just want to blend it together a little bit just to mix everything. So much butter and everything. Add in a cup of butter. Cut this up into little slices and squares so that the food processor can mince it up really well. Sound effects are the most important part of cooking. Make sure that you add them. Without the sound effects, you don't get the love. That's what puts the love in the food. And we'll pulse this up until you have little bits of butter everywhere and there's not really any powder left. There we go. As you can see, it's not really powder anymore. It's very crumbly. So now in this empty bowl, we'll add in 2 large egg yolks. That's not what I wanted to do. Oh no. Okay, go in there, little egg baby. Yolk right in there. After the yolks, we'll want to add in a 1/3 cup of heavy cream. And finally, a teaspoon of vanilla. So now that we have this mixture here, we'll want to whip it all together. Finally, we can add the clumpy flour butter bits. Take a spatula and mix this all together. You want it to start clumping all into a ball. And now you want to split it in half and then cover it in plastic wrap and put it in the refrigerator. My worst enemy, cling wrap. No! Plop that right down. Oh no, I twisted it. Oh my God. Cover it up just like that. Kind of flatten it into a disc and then throw it in the refrigerator for 2 hours. So now while we're waiting for that, we can start making the dough for the pumpkin pasty. So for this one, we'll want to get our Muggle processor blade of death machine again, and we'll want to get some all-purpose flour and put in 1.25 cups. Next, we'll want to get a tablespoon of granulated sugar, and then a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Pulse it a few times, mix it up. Add some butter in, 5 tablespoons this time instead of a cup. My crow is falling. No crow, live. So there we go, we have our vegetable shortening, and we'll want to put in 3 tablespoons of that. Oh, my crow is dying so much, I'm sorry. How'd you give me that look? I never said dessert recipes were healthy. And mix it up so that there's no white powderiness anymore, it's all chunky fat. The mixer. And now the only thing we need to add to this is some cold water, so I think I need to get some of that. Aguamente. And then we're just gonna dump it right into the mixture and just mix it all together until it forms a nice dough. So there we go, we got our nice little ball of dough here. We meet again. Oh, stop it. I don't like you. If only Crucio worked on inanimate objects. Grab our ball of dough and just set it right down. Flatten it. And now this, we get to put right in the refrigerator again, and this one for an hour. It's okay to be longer. So I don't want to wait around, so I'm just gonna cast the spell to get right to it. Tungsilide! Okay, so there we go. We're 2 hours later, and now everything is cool, so we're just gonna leave it in there so that we can make the filling, so that we can make everything and cook it. So the first thing you're gonna wanna do is set the oven to 400 degrees. So the first thing that we're gonna make is the pumpkin pasty. So let's first grab our canned pumpkin, not pumpkin pie filling, just flat out pure pumpkin. My can opener broke. Well, that's a problem. Well, hey, sexy. I need you to get something else while you're at the store because I just broke something. Ah, no, my crow. Stop falling. So one way to open a can when the can opener breaks. There we go. Oh wait, I'm a wizard. Why did I just use magic? Oh man, I'm so stupid. And so now you'll just want to grab a cup, and we'll want a cup of that pumpkin. Quarter cup of granulated sugar, because right now that pumpkin tastes like baby food and not like dessert at all. Unless you like baby food, I'm not gonna judge. Get some ground nutmeg and cinnamon, and we'll put in 1/8 of a teaspoon of each. So now we have everything in our filling that we need, so we're just gonna mix it together. Tastes like pumpkin pie. So now we'll want to get out our dough. Remember to get the correct dough. This is the one that we did not split in half. Go ahead and grab a little bit of flour and dust our work area with it so that it doesn't stick. And now we'll just want to roll it out to such that it gets to about 1/8 of an inch of thickness. Probably put a little bit on top so it doesn't stick to the roller. Try to make sure, oh geez, it's sticking. Try to make sure that it doesn't rip it all like I just made it do. Doesn't have to be a perfect shape since we're going to be cutting it into the correct shape soon. Take some type of cutting device. I have my little claw finger. Oh geez, a little claw finger right here. And now we'll want to cut it into 6-inch squares. I'm gonna be weird and use a little thing here. Sorry, 6-inch circles, not squares. Carefully pick it up so that it doesn't stretch too much. Take a couple of scoops, put it right in the center there, and then fold it over and crimp the edges. It goes a little bit messy looking, but there we go. We have one of our pumpkin pasties. Now if you want, instead of using your finger, you can use a fork to crimp the edges to make sure that they're completely closed, and that way you get also a nice kind of pretty look to the edges here. And we're just gonna drop it right on here, completely ungreased. We got enough grease inside of our pumpkin pasty. Let's go ahead and do the rest of them. So there we go, I have completed doing it. I probably could have got it to fit into 6 if I had conserved my filling a little bit more and made the earlier ones a little bit more flat, but you know what, it's fine. Take a knife and add a little slit. There we kind of got the Deathly Hallows in there. Want to make sure the steam can vent without puffing it up and exploding everywhere. There we go. We are completely ready to put them in the oven, so let's go do that. All we got to do now is wait 30 minutes and we can take those bad boys out. So while that's cooking, I think that we can go ahead and start getting ready the filling of the treacle tart as well, but this is quite a mess I got here, so I think I need to clean this up. Scorchify! There we go, I think that looks pretty clean. So fun fact, the filling of treacle tart is basically just a flavored type of bread, kind of. And so we need to make some breadcrumbs. First thing you want to grab is your food processor. So in order to make this fresh, basically you just need to grab some white bread that you have lying around. I have some fancy big loaves here, but you can just use white, like normal loaf bread if you want to. This works best if you don't use a thin bread, so that you have a lot of like soft insides. You want to pull it open like some type of monster, and then literally just pull it out and put it inside your food processor. And ultimately, when we're done with this, we'll want 2 1/4 cups of breadcrumbs. There we go, that's pretty full of bread. All right, well, see, we got a nice thing full of breadcrumbs. And take 2 1/4 cups. We can go ahead and get the flavoring. So the first thing we want to grab is some molasses. You should probably use the light molasses. I only have dark molasses. I'll make it do. It'll just be a little bit stronger. Measure out a full cup of it. That is a lot of molasses, I gotta say. This was basically my entire container of molasses. Oh my god. And now this is pretty thick, so we'll actually want to warm it up so we can mix it well with our breadcrumbs. There we go. Our molasses is quite warm and drippy and syrupy now. And just pour right in. And then mix it up. This is basically a molasses tart. Oh my god. Oh, that is strong smelling. So now we'll just want to add this entire lemon basically for some extra flavoring inside. So first you want to take a zester or carefully cut off the skin and mince it up. Get the zest from the entire lemon in here. Oh no, I just dropped my lemon in my molasses. Ah! And now we're gonna take the juice from this lemon. So we're gonna cut this in half. That is the thickest rind on a lemon I have seen in my life. What is going on there? There's like nothing there for the juice. Well, I'm gonna make do. Squeeze it in. Ah! Oh, that almost went in my eye. Now we just gotta keep mixing this up. Nice and mixed together. Oh, that is an interesting smell. Our pumpkin pasties are done, so let's get those out. Those look like some pasties. There, look at that. The Deathly Hallows didn't turn out too great on them, but you know what? It's the thought that matters. So now we're ready to get our dough for our trickle tart already. So we'll want to grab 1/2 that we had put away into the refrigerator. If one of them was a little bit bigger than the other one, grab the bigger one. Do as we did before, take some flour our surface, plop it right down in the center, flour on top. And now, like we did in that mushroom recipe that we did in the last episode, go check it out, we will want to roll it into a 11-inch circle. I don't have a tart pan, so I'm gonna use a 9-inch pie pan. It's basically the same. Lift it up carefully, bring it onto our pie pan. Make sure it falls right into the side. Try not to let it rip, and if it rips a little bit, just pinch it closed. Ooh, just like I did right there. And now we'll want to prepare the top of it. So we'll grab our other half, plop it down, put some flour on it, and then we'll roll this one out to about 1/8 of an inch thick. This one doesn't have to be perfect because we're gonna be cutting it up. So now what you want to do is actually cut these into strips so that we can make a lattice topping for the top of our pie. I'd try to keep them close to the same size. Get the pie filling in, dump it right on top, smooth it out with your spatula. And now it's just a matter of putting our lattice topping on. Let's see if I can do this without it completely destroying itself. I've never done this before, so I hope it's right. One more in there. Ooh. Now that's looking like a pie to me, I think. So all that's left is to trim this up right around the edge. The edges aren't gonna be the prettiest, so let's use a fork to make a nice texture in there. Little edge around it, not the most prettiest, but I think it's gonna turn out really nicely. So there we go, we have our nice lattice that we got going. So now we can just throw it in the oven. All we gotta do now is wait for 10 minutes, decrease the temperature to 375 degrees, and then cook another 25 minutes, and we'll be ready to take it out of the oven. See you in a bit. All right, it is 25 minutes later. Look at that. That is, oh my God, I am just doing a great job at making pies lately. Holy, that is beautiful. Slide, please. Ah, look at that beautiful lettuce work. I think it's time to get our taste tester over. Well then, geez, what is that about?
You said we were gonna have treacle tart and pumpkin pasties.
Not pasties, pasties. Go put a shirt on, nobody wants to see that.
What's a pasty?
A pasty's this, right there.
That's a pie.
No, it's a pasty.
No, it's a pie.
No.
There's just two pies
No,
in
it is
different
a
shapes.
pasty.
So you're not wearing any pasties?
No, they don't want to see that either. Okay, I think we need to fix that. Erectus deflectus.
Excuse you.
Nobody wanted to see that.
I did not consent to being clothed.
Too bad. They didn't consent to see you unclothed.
I'm sure censorship cat will deal with it.
So here we go. We have our pumpkin pasties and our treacle tart pie thing.
You even put little vaginas on
No, they're Deathly Hollow marks.
Does that look like a Deathly Hollow mark to you guys? That's a vagina.
No.
It's got a clitoris and inside different coloring juices and everything.
Some type of family-friendly content this is. She is judging you.
Judging you for making vagina pies.
No. So I think that we should eat the pumpkin pasty first.
Just stop it! Stop!
Whoa, man! Hey, you can't steal my wand. That's not legal. Sell your tits.
You settle your tits.
They're covered now.
We're not
It's
just
hot.
gonna bite into
You're gonna
it.
burn yourself.
You gotta do cross section.
Yep, cross section. There we go. There's our beautiful pumpkin pasty cross section. It's like
It looks
basically
like
pumpkin pie.
Cause it is a pie.
No, it's a pumpkin pasty.
It's a pie in the wrong shape.
The shape is what matters. Settle down. That's hot. It's hot.
Whoa. Tastes like pumpkin pie.
But it's a pasty.
No, it's a pie.
No, you can't hold a pie in such an easy manner. It's in a nice little pouch for you to hold it. It's a pasty.
It's really good.
Yeah, I'm just.
Oh, it's hot.
I warned you.
It's hot in my mouth.
I don't know what else to say about it. It's like a
Yeah.
pumpkin pie.
it
They're
is.
in a smaller shape, so you can like pass them out at a party instead of having to like get a slice of pie. So yeah, I'll make it for a party. It's good.
You can make tiny versions.
Yeah, you can make smaller ones.
Ow, it's hot.
As you were like.
No, it's my wand.
No.
Now. Where's my wand? I had a wand.
Nope, you don't get nothing. Honey, you're such a terrible witch losing your wand. Violet. No! Okay, well, I think it's time to cut into this treacle pie tart thing.
No, it's too perfect.
Yeah, it's too perfect. Settle on your
Oh,
knife.
that lattice is really nice.
I know, it is. Oh no, it's cracking. It's a pie cake. Tart.
Tart.
But we can't eat it yet. We need the good addition to it.
You sent me out into the muggle
Yeah.
world to get it.
Go do errands. Maybe I'll make an episode on that in the future. Oh my god! Sell your tits! Maybe I'll make some ice cream in the future, but I'm too lazy, so here we go. Nice clump of wonderful ice cream.
No, it was my bite.
I cut it.
No, it was my bite. Oh, it's hot.
Pretty good.
Interesting.
It's interesting. I wouldn't call it bad though. I think that the dark molasses is a little bit too strong.
Ice cream helps a lot.
Yeah. I've never had something like this. It's
Me neither.
it's weird to process. It's an interesting flavor.
Yeah.
I like molasses cookies, but like this is really strong molasses.
Very
So if you really like molasses, you'll love this. This is great.
For a Harry Potter party, definitely
Oh, yeah.
make it because like it's
Yeah.
thematic.
And this is Harry Potter's favorite dessert supposedly. So I mean, maybe you should even at least try it just for that. The breadcrumbs almost make it kind of like a fruit texture. So there we go. I still think I call this a success because I think it tastes how it's supposed to taste. It's just really strong for us. So.
Yeah, definitely good and once in a while kind of thing. Harry Potter party, Halloween party, that kind of thing.
There you go. You can make some pumpkin pasties for Thanksgiving's coming up too. But don't draw the Deathly Hallows. That just makes it look awkward. I tried to make it look Harry Potter and pretty.
They're just vaginas.
Settle down.
Settle down.
Alright guys, so I think that's the end of the episode. We have our trickle pie tart thingy and the pumpkin pasties. They both turned out very good. I recommend that you make them at least to try them. If you guys enjoyed this, if you haven't subscribed already, go down there and subscribe. Leave us a comment about what you think of this. Have you tried this before? Let us know if you like it or if I made it wrong. We'll see you guys in the next episode.